We have a verdict in the Sean Diddy Combs criminal case after all of these weeks. And if you thought that was the only major decision of the day, you would be wrong. We're going to talk about what happened on this absolutely monumental day in court.
I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Bail denied for Sean Combs. The judge saying the defendant's violence was starkly depicted in the now infamous 2016 video at the Intercontinental Hotel. The judge cited what he called Combs's propensity for violence, adding, "It is impossible for the defendant to demonstrate that he poses no danger to the community." This coming hours after the verdict. The jury finding Combs not guilty on the most serious charges he faced, racketeering, conspiracy, and 2 counts of sex trafficking. But they did find him guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. After the verdict was read, Combs turned to his family and said, "I'm coming home." He then kneeled on the ground, appearing to pray. Combs' son, Christian, celebrating the decision.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that has captivated the public's attention for weeks. And today we're diving deep into the shocking twists that have unfolded in the P. Diddy criminal trial. From the courtroom drama to the social media frenzy, this case has become one of the most polarizing in celebrity history. Sean Diddy Combs has been a central figure in music, business, and entertainment for decades. But his recent legal battles have cast a long shadow over his career. Today, we'll discuss how his bail dreams were crushed in a stunning court twist and what the future holds for the mogul. Before we dive into the latest developments, let's rewind and take a look at how this all started. In September 2024, Sean Diddy Combs found himself at the center of a high-stakes legal battle, facing charges that could potentially ruin everything he built. He was accused of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and the transportation of women for prostitution under the Mann Act. These were not just minor allegations. These were federal charges that carried long sentences and serious consequences. Many were shocked by the news because Diddy had long been seen as an icon, the face of hip-hop, a successful businessman, and a philanthropist. How could someone with such a powerful presence in the entertainment industry be involved in something so dark? That question led to weeks of court proceedings where every twist and turn revealed more about Diddy's personal life, his relationships, and his alleged actions behind closed doors. Throughout the trial, the prosecution painted a very disturbing picture. They claimed that Diddy had used his influence and power to exploit young women, often forcing them into sex work, transporting them across state lines, and even using his employees to facilitate the criminal enterprise. But Diddy's defense team argued that these accusations were exaggerated and part of a larger conspiracy against him, a claim that seemed to gain traction with his supporters. As the trial unfolded over several weeks, it became clear that the stakes were high for both sides. Diddy's supporters rallied behind him, while victims' advocates and those pushing for accountability remained skeptical, demanding justice for the women involved. The trial included emotional testimony from Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who spoke about the alleged abuse she faced during their relationship. Despite the intense public scrutiny, the jury eventually reached a verdict. In a split decision, Diddy was acquitted of the most severe charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking related to both Cassie Ventura and a woman named Jane. The relief was palpable for Diddy and his family, who were hoping for a complete acquittal. But the jury still found Diddy guilty on 2 counts of transporting individuals for prostitution, which carry a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison each, though Diddy avoided the longest and most serious sentences. The convictions on the Mann Act charges were significant, and the ramifications are still to be determined. After the verdict was read, Diddy's defense team immediately pushed for his release while awaiting sentencing. This made sense to many, especially considering the acquittals on the more severe charges. They requested a $50 million bail and offered various conditions to ensure Diddy wouldn't flee. But despite the offers and the partial victory, the judges' decision was far from what Diddy's team had hoped for. In a stunning twist, the judge denied bail, keeping Diddy in federal custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The reason for the denial was not the charges themselves, but Diddy's past history of domestic violence. The judge cited the 2016 hotel incident with Cassie Ventura, which was captured on video. This video, along with the defense's admission that Diddy had a history of violent behavior, was enough to convince the judge that Diddy posed a danger to the community. The judge also pointed out that Diddy's behavior was not just about the charges in this case, but about a pattern of violence that spanned years. This was a moment that shocked Diddy's supporters, who had hoped that the partial acquittals would lead to his immediate release. Instead, Diddy would remain behind bars, awaiting sentencing. Almost immediately after the decision was made, social media erupted. Diddy's fans were vocal, with many posting #FreeDiddy and #JusticeForDiddy on Twitter and Instagram. They argued that the decision to keep him in custody was an overreach, and some even accused the courts of bias, suggesting that Diddy was being unfairly targeted because of his success and status. On the other hand, victims' rights activists and those supporting the women involved in the case took to social media to express their satisfaction with the judge's decision. They pointed to the severity of the charges, the emotional testimony, and the history of abuse as reasons why Diddy should remain locked up. The clash between these two sides became a cultural battle on one side. The fans who saw Diddy as an icon and a victim of the system, and on the other side, the people advocating for justice for victims who believed that Diddy's status should not protect him from the consequences of his actions. This case is more than just a legal matter. It's a cultural moment that's sparking conversations about celebrity justice, accountability, and the line between fame and power. Diddy is not the first celebrity to face legal issues, but he is one of the most high-profile figures to be involved in such serious allegations. As the trial progresses, it has raised the question, should celebrities be held to a higher standard of accountability, or does their fame protect them from the same consequences as others? One of the most talked about aspects of this trial has been the impact on Diddy's legacy. He's a man who built an empire and shaped the music industry. But the dark cloud hanging over his name has caused many to rethink how they view him. Can you still separate the art from the artist? How does a public figure like Diddy continue to work in the entertainment industry after such allegations? These questions are going to keep surfacing no matter the outcome. In fact, some of Diddy's biggest supporters, who view him as a figure who revolutionized the music industry, are now wrestling with how to reconcile his contributions to the culture with the allegations against him. It's a dilemma that many fans are struggling with. How do you support someone you admire while also holding them accountable for their actions? Looking ahead, Diddy's legal team is now focused on the sentencing hearing, which is scheduled for October 3, 2025. This is a critical moment. If the judge sticks to the sentencing guidelines, Diddy could face anywhere from 51 to 63 months in prison. But this is where the stakes get even higher. Will the judge go with the lower range of this sentence, or will the severity of the crimes lead to a longer sentence? One interesting aspect is that the defense has already indicated that Diddy could potentially be out within the next year, given the time he's already served. And we can't forget about the pre-sentencing report that will include an interview with Diddy. This report will give the judge more context about Diddy's personal life, his history, his health, and his behavior during this entire ordeal. As we continue to follow this case, it's clear that it's about more than just Diddy. It's about how we, as a society, view celebrity accountability, victims' rights, and the intersection of power and fame. The case is a reminder that no one is above the law, no matter how high they've climbed. But it also brings to the forefront questions about cultural icons and whether they can continue to be celebrated despite allegations that tarnish their legacies. Ultimately, Diddy's fate will be decided by the courts. But the public conversation about him and others like him will continue long after the sentencing. The way we view celebrity culture may never be the same again. Will this case set a precedent for future trials involving powerful figures, or will it just be another chapter in the ongoing battle between justice and fame? So, where does Diddy go from here? What will his legacy be? Only time will tell. But for now, we will be watching closely as this case unfolds in the courts and in the court of public opinion. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the P. Diddy trial. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates as this story continues to develop. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the verdict, the bail denial, and the cultural implications of this trial? Let's talk about it.